Hello there, and you are very welcome to Lesson 5 in Module 2 of your Professional Diploma in Digital Marketing. Guys, my name is Caitlin. I'm the Digital Marketing Educator here at Shaw Academy, and I head up the Marketing Faculty. How's everybody doing? I hope you are all very well today. This is going to be an amazing lesson. We're going to be talking about growth hacking, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that very shortly. As per usual, a little bit of housekeeping. Can you let me know, please? Type it into your chat box. Let the team know that you can hear us nice and loudly and clearly. And we will get started very shortly, but we just want to make sure that everybody is here and everything is working as it should be. Excellent. And if you cannot hear us, please do try to clear your cookies and cache if you can, if it's coming through a little bit strangely. All right, so let's have a really quick look at what we're going to be discussing today and what we're going to be learning. Okay, we're going to be looking at what growth hacking is. I'm going to discuss the whole concept. Now, it's a really, really cool concept that a lot of people think is kind of a flash in the pan, but it's absolutely not. It's not really a new kind of marketing either. You'll see it's a way of thinking. But so we're going to talk about what it is, who can benefit from it. We're going to talk about growth hacking used in the sales funnel and in that sales process, whether it's to get your leads, whether it's to get repeat customers. You'll get what I mean when we start discussing it, okay? And then we're going to look at content upgrades as a concept. Brilliant, brilliant concept that will help you out and help you to give value to your audience and to your customers. And we're also going to look at some really successful case studies, pretty much companies that got where they are through using growth hacking. All right, guys, so let's get started. So to begin with, I am going to, as per usual, ask you guys what growth hacking is. What do you think it is? What does it mean to you? Has anyone ever come across the term growth hacking? It's a very, very cool concept, guys. Rapid marketing, lead generation, yeah, okay. Growth is involved in this, okay, in growth hacking, but let's strip it back, okay? I will peel it right back and we'll start from the very beginning. I'll start for you with a definition, okay? So growth hacking is a process of rapid experimentation across marketing channels and product development to identify the most effective, most efficient ways to grow a business, okay? Growth hacking refers to a set of both conventional and unconventional marketing experiments that lead to growth of a business. Does that make sense to everybody? So guys, the digital marketing world is constantly changing and it's constantly evolving. Okay, as a business owner or as a digital marketer in that world, right, that are digital marketers that are representative of businesses, we really need to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to being clued in on what's new in the industry, okay? We need to constantly be open to adopting new strategies and methodologies. So when the goal is to drive long-term business growth through creative analytical strategies, guys, that is what growth hacking is at its simplest, okay? It's a little marriage of creativity and business strategy. So it actually, here we go, it refers to a set of both conventional and unconventional marketing experiments that lead to the growth of a business. That is an important part to remember, okay? So we're going to see it when we go through the lesson and talk about conventional marketing tools. Guys, we're basically throwing the rule book out the window here, and I'm quite excited to show you how it works. So it is important to know as well, there are no wrong answers here, okay? It's just growth hacking is using creative ways to implement changes that result in explosive growth, not just growth, explosive growth, okay? And the term growth hacker, I've had a couple of students in the past say it's a little bit controversial and disagree with the guy who started up the term, who brought about the concept, a guy named Sean Ellis, okay? He founded a company called Startup Marketing, okay? He explained the concept using a startup growth pyramid, but we'll have a look at it a little bit later, okay? a good way of looking at what growth hacking is by looking at what it is not, okay? It's probably the best place for us to start. So let's start here. Growth hacking does not have anything to do with turning bad products great. Guys, it's really important to lay down here that no form of marketing, whether it's traditional or digital or growth hacking or remarketing, any of the tools that we've got, okay? No form, and no matter how good the marketing is, it will not in the long term make success of a poor quality product, okay? If you do want to succeed, you've got to offer a really good quality product, okay, that has lots of benefits, or good benefits at least, and that really adds value to your customer's life. Okay, you need a product market fit, and you need to build into that fit. And speaking about product market fits, okay, it is not about finding where your product fits into the market. Okay, we need to know that first and foremost, and then we can start implementing growth hacking. Okay, so now this is when it gets interesting, right? It's not just up to the digital marketing team. We're talking about, this is engineering, okay? So it's the engineer, it's the data analysis, it's the marketing and email teams, it's the company owner's input, the sales team. Basically, it's all departments of the company coming together to implement a growth hacking strategy, okay? It'll all, I know this sounds a bit general, but it'll all become a lot clearer as we carry on today. Next, it is not completely free, okay? There are, of course, there are low cost and even free growth hacking tactics you can use. But at the end of the day, you still need to invest time and energy in the development and the creativity and the innovation that a growth hacking strategy needs in order to grow your business. Okay? Next, it is very much not to do with guesswork. Okay? Growth hacking it's entirely basically about using data to make informed decisions and make creative changes to your marketing strategy. Okay, data is huge, and we learn to really, really harness it with growth hacking. Okay, and it's by no means a passing trend or a new buzzword in marketing. Okay, it encompasses a lot. It is quite a broad concept, but it's not a new buzzword that replaces inbound marketing or anything like that. Okay, wonderful stuff. So let's shift along. Okay, so the advantages of growth hacking. Okay, it's quite nice to highlight what the benefits are as well. So it is less costly than just pumping money into advertising, which is what people tend to do because of the traditional marketing influence on digital these days. So it is far lower cost. It doesn't mean it's free, but it is way, way cheaper. Okay, long-term sustainable growth. So the advantages are that you're not looking for quick fixes or a few sales in the door this month, but you're looking to rather integrate it into your strategy, and it's going to have explosive growth. It's going to influence your strategy, okay, but over the long term, and it needs to be built into that strategy, okay? Another benefit is the effect it's going to have on your customer retention. Okay, retention's a massive element of this. We're not just looking for the customer to come and make one purchase, just buy one time, okay? But we want them to keep coming back again and again and again. Okay, and again, explosive lead generation as well. So you're talking about going from very few leads and potential buyers to explosive growth, okay? We actually would implement a few growth hacking tactics here at Shaw Academy, and we've actually got growth hacking strategy meetings, if you'd believe that. Okay, and then as a growth hacker, guys, you need to be pretty much obsessed with different possible ways of growing your business. You know, how am I going to get more leads? How am I going to grow my business? How are we going to reach the next level? You know, you've got to be asking yourself questions like these. Every single decision needs to be in line with growth. And you've also got a viral loop that needs to be built into the onboarding stage. Okay, so what I mean by that is you've got a built-in component of the product or the service that you've got that allows it to go viral. That's essentially what this is, okay? It's when your product or service goes viral. Does that make sense, guys? Everybody with me? Okay, guys, so moving along. Next element, what type of mind do we need if we're going to engage in growth hacking, okay, if we're going to get stuck into this. So there's a lot of talk about growth hacking, and some people believe that growth hacking is just another buzzword, but there is a big difference between inbound marketing and growth hacking, okay? So inbound marketing is about content marketing and bringing the customer to you with your story and your value that you're adding to the customers, okay? And the potential buyers find you, and you don't need to go around and go out and fight for their attention. So that's what inbound marketing is about, okay? On the other hand, growth hacking is about taking that inbound marketing and all of those strategies that you're using and that you already know, okay? And okay, so a couple of you are asking me about virality loops. That's okay. I'll show you with an example a little bit later in the case study, okay? So we take our inbound marketing strategies, taking all the stuff that we're familiar with, your email and SEO and content marketing and all of that good stuff, and creating something really powerful from those strategies. And, you know, looking at it differently and chucking the rule book out the window, right? I know I keep saying that. So it's thinking laterally. A growth hacker could also come up with a completely new strategy, a new way of doing things, okay? So in most instances, the growth hacker is totally different to your standard way of marketing in the digital space. It's really where the marketer meets the engineer, okay? That's where you find growth hacking. That's where it lives. Okay, we all there? Lovely stuff. Okay, guys, so we've got a vague, like a basic idea of what growth hacking is and what the advantages are and the kind of thinking that's important, right? So everybody's there. Okay, brilliant. So are you guys keen then to know who can benefit, who this applies to? Yeah? Awesome. Loads of yeses shooting through. That's exactly right. Alejandro says a short way to success. Awesome. Okay, wonderful. Let's get stuck in. So with content marketing, your focus is going to be on developing content that tells your story and draws the customer to you. Okay, hang on. Before we get stuck in, Alan says no. Andres is still a bit lost. Okay, guys, let's I tell you what. Before we move on to here, let me just jump back to this guy. Okay. What do we need to clarify? Where are we lost? Okay, so let me put it in other terms for you. Okay, so growth hacking is not a marketing tool, it is a concept. Okay, it's a construct. So it's a way of going about doing things. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples here of companies that have implemented growth hacking. So hopefully it makes a bit more sense at the end of the lesson. Okay, but it's basically taking all of those marketing strategies, all of those tools, and looking at them laterally, okay? Looking at the box and turning it over and kind of looking at it from the side and looking at outside opportunities that can affect the way that we do business, okay? It's bringing a little bit of science into it. Not actual science, but it's looking at it a bit differently, okay? So most people are kind of with me. Margie says, who's the engineer? You guys, it'll make a lot more sense when I show you the examples now, okay? So let's have a look here. So we're talking about content marketing as an example, okay? Your focus is going to be on developing the content that tells your story and draws customers to you, okay? Which is a form of inbound marketing. So you're going to be doing this so that you can generate an increased lead flow of potential buyers, okay? So basically, this is when you rely on your potential customers reading the content that you write or that you produce or engaging with it, okay? So reading blogs, watching videos, sharing articles that you've written, podcasts, ebooks, all of that, okay? So growth hacking with content marketers, okay, for content marketers, growth hacking can help you to drive more people to your content. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, startup businesses, guys, these businesses live and die on their initial growth that they achieve. Okay, so that means that lead generation and customer acquisition and building really good reputation it's completely essential for the survival and the thriving of any startup. Okay, so we're going to take a look at how you can optimize growth hacking to make a good first time impression and get your product or service to go viral. Okay, I'll show you how other people have done it and how you can replicate it as well. Okay, and then so when we're talking about business to business, okay, B2Bs don't really, a lot of them don't really know how to effectively work with a sales funnel. So they can also really benefit from having a focus on growth hacking, right? So if you are a B2B, you can really benefit from it in that growth hacking will give you a really clear, defined idea of your sales funnel, which is going to allow for a really smooth, optimized process. Okay, and then your B2Cs, your business to customer, okay, they can really benefit as well because growth hacking is going to help them to define who their ideal customer is so that they can focus their efforts on reaching them. All right, so guys, ultimately, everyone can benefit from implementing growth hacking tactics. Okay, I mean, that is by applying innovation supported by data and creativity. Don't settle for the phrase, this is how it works, this is how it's done, this is how it's always been done, we're not going to change it. Guys, you need to be bold, you need to be brave. Okay, think about how you can do it better or you can do it completely left field. Doing something for the first time, changing your approach and getting different results. That's kind of what it is. Growth hacking it's a mindset above everything else. All right? So, when we talk about the growth hacking funnel, what do you think it would look like? If I were to ask you to map out the 4 steps in the sales funnel for growth hacking, what do you think they'd look like? With all of that information that I've kind of given you to this point, well, how do you think it would look? So it's like any old sales funnel, okay? Lead generation. It's about developing a lead flow that converts into sales, right? So let's have a look. Okay, so we've got acquisition, okay? We're acquiring people from a variety of channels. Then we've got activation, okay, where people sign up or create accounts. Then we've got retention, okay, which is where it says their repeated use of product or service, where people come back. And then referral, okay, referral, this is growth, when you share a service with someone or refer your friends to it, this is word of mouth. Word of mouth is a big part of the growth hacking funnel, okay? And then revenue, that's where it's monetized. So let's go through this slowly, okay? First up, we've got acquisition, okay? So this is the different channels that we generate our leads from, okay? So to give you guys an example with us, with Shaw Academy, okay, one of our channels for lead generation would be partnerships, okay? I went over affiliate marketing in the foundation course, but partnerships would be a big part, okay? So we set up our partnerships, and the rules of engagement might be that no one sees any charges or any payment until the leads are converted, so it's cost per acquisition. Looking at Shaw Academy, okay, in some of our partnerships, no one sees money until leads are converted, okay, so cost per acquisition. So very little profits being made though, okay. We had to look at those on the foundation course, and guys, the channels that we have to generate the lead flow, right? Then we have activation, which is here, okay? This is when the lead takes an action, okay? So they can go ahead and they sign up for an account. So again, when people signed up for the foundation course with us, the trial, that's where it's the 30 days access to the foundation course. And a lot of you guys would have come through on that. And tell me, actually, those of you who did come through, did you see it? See one of our ads? Where did you see those ads? Then, moving on, retention, okay? Retention is going to be a big part of our growth hacking funnel, okay? We're not interested in getting a customer in once and forgetting about our business, okay? Remember that growth hacking is about long-term growth, okay? It's not about the short-term gain, okay? And then referral is where it gets really interesting. So it's like the part to remember, okay? So referral can be a really great way to utilize your user base to grow more users, okay? We're going to have a look at how Hotmail and Dropbox did that, but Hotmail we're going to have a look at later this week, okay? Obviously, guys, revenue then is long-term sustainability. We want to have some sort of monetizing step in any of our digital marketing strategies, because, I mean, if we didn't, what would the point be, right? We want to be able to pay our bills, right? But sustainably. Okay, cool, guys. So let's move along. So our first case study, okay? Dropbox, right? Did you guys know that they implemented growth hacking to get to where they are today? Okay, so let's have a look at what Dropbox did and look at the growth that they had because of that, because it's a really interesting story about how they did it, right? Okay, so first things first, they built a really cool product, okay? It's a great product, online cloud storage. I'd say people would agree with that. We need to think about the product first and foremost, okay? Again, there's no point in generating leads if we have nothing to offer them as customers, okay? Next, they spent very little on ads, okay? So they didn't spend very much at all. But they worked out that if they were going to spend money on ads to get a free product to customers, they'd actually be putting down far too much money, and it would be incredibly expensive for what they had in mind. Okay, there wasn't enough return on what they were investing. So what they did is that they didn't buy their customers at all. Actually, they acquired their customers. Okay, and we're going to look at exactly how they did that. So they built in an aspect, okay, at the very beginning, okay, importantly, that allowed the product to go viral. All right, it's not an afterthought to go viral. And their customers cost them zero. They cost them nothing. They got them kind of for free. So we'll get there shortly. So let's have a look at what their success looks like in numbers, right? My nice little animation. Okay, so in 2012, they turned over 116 million, $116 million. Okay, 2013 was 200 million. 2014, it's 250 million. Okay, in 2014, they were valued at $10 billion, which is pretty cool. They had 1 billion files saved every 24 hours, okay, over 200 million users, and it was installed on 250 million devices. So I reckon I'm going to show you how to implement the same kind of thought processes. You guys keen? Awesome. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys as well to, the growth that they enjoyed, right? So they went from 4 million to 25 to 50 to a few months later to 100 million users. It's crazy, okay? I know this is in the very beginning. This is 2012. But they leapfrogged in 2 years. I mean, I'm very bad with numbers, but a few 100,000%? I don't know. But that's a lot, okay? This isn't even their full success, okay? Because this is only until 2012. So this is basically a really typical example, okay? So growth hackers are creative enough to cut through obstructions and to get more signups and more leads and more customers, okay? So Dropbox, what they did is they gave away 500 megabytes worth of storage space, which was a lot back then, okay, with their easy-to-use referral program. So initially, you needed to be invited by Dropbox to open an account, which created an exclusive kind of vibe around them, okay? It created exclusivity around this new product. It was when cloud computing was quite new. So it only got them so far. It did get them so far, but they needed further growth, okay? And they didn't have the budget it would take if they went the traditional route, right? To go and advertise and all of that. So they thought outside the box. Dropbox, that's quite funny. They thought outside the box and they turned to growth hacking tactics. I make myself very proud sometimes with my puns. Okay, so Dropbox made it, guys, so that when you signed up for their service, you were asked to refer a friend, okay? It is that simple. That's their growth hacking tactic, okay? When you signed up and you referred a friend, you would get 500 megs worth of storage for free, okay? So you were up to a gig, okay? So the more people you referred, the more storage space you got, okay? So as a result, in 15 months, Dropbox grew from 100,000 users to 4 million users. Okay, they've actually also got a really simple 2-minute above the fold video that gives an explanation of the product, okay, on their kind of landing page. And that's something that they've had on their website from the very beginning. Let's see if they've still got it, actually. So, they have changed everything. Thank you, Internet. So, they've changed it completely, but they did have, what happened is they had an above the fold video that you could click. I mean, this is as user friendly. It kind of tells you exactly what it is in a couple of scrolls and self-playing videos. Okay, so they haven't got that, unfortunately. And Lizelle says they have 500 million users as of the 28th of July. That's pretty cool in 2017. That's nuts, isn't it? Cool, guys. So they had that video. I wish I still had it, but it was really, really simple, a really simple explanation. And they had that for years. Okay, so when we consider growth hacking, the term is really, really broad. Okay, and it encompasses an awful lot. So in this example, in this instance, Dropbox knew the psychology of their users. Okay, so they sat down, they teased out the idea, and they realized that they could, reward their users with an easy referral sign-up process, and at the same time have absolutely explosive growth in customer acquisition. And that's exactly what they had, new customers for free. So they've done a lot more cool things since then, but this is how it all kicked off. We're going to have a look at that video. Thanks, Byron. Here we go.
Is the place for all your stuff. Your vacation photos, studio recordings, research proposals, even the video from that time you finished third in a hot dog eating contest. It's a website and an app for your computer, phone, or tablet. When your stuff lives here, it's on all your devices, and you can take it with you wherever you go. It's easy to send files of any size to anyone. Your aunt, your client, your boss, your buddy, even if they don't have a Dropbox account. It's a simple way to work together on the same files too, without sending emails back and forth. You can get feedback from your editor, share CAD files for that new building project, or work on budget planning, and keep everyone in the loop along the way. Dropbox brings your files together in one safe place. So even if your phone takes a swim, or your tablet takes a hike, your photos, flyers, and footage are safe and sound. When your stuff lives in Dropbox, there's a little more time for all the things you love to do.
That's all that. Okay, cool. So there we go. That's that video. Thank you very much. Byron's what a G. Okay, cool. So guys, that's Dropbox in a nutshell. So let's have a quick little look here. So this is the message, guys, that I want to really hit home, okay, with you. You need to change your mindset. So Sean Ellis, okay, remember that name? He agrees, right? Some of the best growth hacks are often completely free. Have a look on the screen on your right-hand side there. It's the distinction between traditional marketing or traditional tactics and growth hacking tactics, okay? Basically, what you want to do is you want to make people, in terms of traditional tactics, you would make people want a product. Okay, so this guy's going, let's create awareness, and he's like, let's hire salespeople to push the product. You go from there and down, and then it's paid advertising, and then lots of money, and then it's a cycle that continues, and you spend lots more money, and then you get some leads from it, and they might convert and might not. And how about we have a look? Okay, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the traditional tactics, the traditional way of going about things. I'm saying that there is an easier way if you can get your head around it. Okay, a way that's going to pay off in the long term, and it's going to create ridiculous growth. Like, imagine if Dropbox had stayed limited to their budget. You know, guys, this is about increasing acquisition, referral, and activation, and doing it with free or really low-cost alternatives, okay? So there are a couple of things that I want you to consider. As you can see here, they started with making a product that people want, and then using it as a distribution channel itself, okay? So things I want you to consider here. So the product market fit, okay? If a new product is being created, if you've created a new product, okay, how can you then build a viral component into it? We've got a couple of referral programs here at Shaw Academy as well. We kind of use this sort of thing in our own way, okay? Your distributions, okay? For Dropbox, they didn't have to use different channels or partnerships, okay? Their sharing mechanism was in the product itself, okay? And then with a free or certainly much lower cost alternative as well. And guys, often your tech-based solutions are where, you know, tech can have a big impact on your growth hacking tactics as well and on your company. Okay, does it make a little more sense now that I've used a company to kind of explain growth hacking, to kind of go around it? What do you guys think of Dropbox's approach? Sean says, these tactics seem great for online services, but I can't see how real world services can use this. That's fair. We'll have a look at that. And I know it's, I can't give you a hack for growth hacking. Like, I can't develop the idea for you. It's got to be, it's quite individual for each product and each service. Dorothy says, how do they make money? I would assume that they've got a form of advertising, or the company is valued at a certain amount. So sell paving, which is in most cases a one-off sale, says Richard. So they could, you could include a referral system in that as well. Sam says, does growth hacking work for all products and services? I think it can. Once you have a good presence, or not even a good presence online, you can create that presence. Mina says, it's a very clever approach. I like the simplicity. Not applicable to every business or product, though. This particular growth hack, okay, because this is only one way of approaching it, the way that Dropbox did. It is not the only way of doing it. It's very clever, and it fits in with what they've done. Okay, but it wouldn't necessarily apply to everybody. What you need to do is you need to get your mind into a different space, okay? Think of how you can break the rules. Come up with something new. So, does everybody know what content marketing is? You obviously do by now. A lot of you would have done that semester, and a good few of you, I've mentioned it quite a bit on the foundation course. So, let's have a quick look. So, firstly, with your content marketing, okay? Here's just another example of a hack, okay? So with your content marketing, you want to rise above the noise, okay? There's a lot of information and a lot of resources out there. The internet is quite a noisy place when it comes to content, okay? It is very effective, but you need to step aside. You need to be bigger than the rest, okay? So what you need to do is you need to look at the data around content, okay? Your Google Analytics, you can find out where people are spending time on your site. Now, this is where your analytics, your data comes in, okay? You can see what people are doing, what pages they've visited, what pages have the biggest traffic, what page on your site is adding the most value, what element of your website is adding the most value, okay? We're using our data, okay, to help us along with our decisions to do with growth hacking, okay? We also need to make decisions that are outside the box, okay? To make decisions that are going to add huge value in the long term, okay? And we're going to use content upgrades to do that. This is another growth hack, okay? So let's have a look. What do you think content upgrades are? Let's have a look. This is a way that everybody can use, okay? If you've got a website, you've got a blog, I think everybody can benefit from using this. Kevin says, yes, it's very noisy. I get an average of 30 notifications in an hour from various feeds. I can't keep up. I get you. It's a noisy place. Okay, so it's a little bit delayed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through this. Okay, so there's a study. I got all of this information from Crazy Egg, okay, a site called Crazy Egg. Okay, so a strategy to increase subscribers. Okay, so your content upgrade it's a way to get more people to subscribe to whatever it is that you want them to subscribe to. You've got people coming to your site, reading your blog. Okay, it's an opportunity to increase your subscribers. You can sign up people with subscription within your content, and I'm going to explain that in a bit. So within that blog post that you're writing, you're creating something specifically there, okay? A strategy that makes your audience sign up within the content they're reading, within the article they're reading. So it's not just at the top of your blog post, okay? You need to give away specific and relevant content. Okay, let me just bring these up. There we go. Here's an example, okay? So it's got to be within an article or a blog post already, okay? Within it, you're creating something that's going to increase subscriptions there, where they're high quality leads, they're reading your article that's about your product or about something to do with your industry, okay? And you're offering them something that will make them sign up, Okay, it's lead generation. You're getting high quality leads from a particular study. Okay, so let's have a look here. Let me bring out my pointer. It's specific relevant content, okay, and it's signing up within the content. So here's an article, okay, it's just an article from a while ago, okay, and they're talking about boosting conversions, okay. It's all about content upgrades, which is quite relevant. This, my friends, is a content upgrade, okay. Learn how to dramatically boost your blog's conversion rate with the content upgrade, okay. You're reading about it, and then they're offering you free content that is very relevant to the article that they're reading. Does that make sense, guys? You all with me? Kevin asked, is that a call to action asking them to sign up within the content? It is asking them to download extra content that is highly valuable to them. Okay? That makes a good bit of sense. So guys, the example that we're going to look at is this from Brian Dean of Backlinko. I think we've got it here. Okay, so Backlinko. I will put the content into the slides. I'll give you the links. Okay, so there's a site called Backlinko. Okay, and Brian got massive increase in conversion by making one change in a day. Okay, he made one single change. So basically, he then, by making that change, increased his conversion goal by 785%. So this is a guy that has a very successful blog, okay? It's not like it's performing badly. It's performing quite well, but growth hacking is not about a few more conversions. It's about jumping to the next level, okay? It's about leveling up. So let me just think. So here we go. This is his blog, okay? There we go. It's all about increasing conversions. So there you go. Access the case study. You probably have to give, there we go, have to give email. So that is his way of converting people. Clever, hey? You can kind of see it there in action. But when he first implemented it, it gave him 785% higher conversion. How crazy cool is that? Okay, cool, guys. So let's have a look at how he did that, okay? These days, everybody offers a general non-specific report, okay? There is a lot of content upgrading happening, but they never offer particular content that you're reading about. So, for example, I might write a digital marketing blog, and on the blog, I cover areas like SEO and email, affiliate marketing, PPC, and lots more, right? And it's like a general digital marketing blog. But maybe, you know, no matter what section my readers are reading, I'm offering the same free report on the changes within the digital marketing industry as a whole. Rather than, you know, on an article about affiliate marketing, offering them a report on affiliate marketing. You know, if I'm on the SEO blog post, as an example, as a reader, I might not care about the industry reports, you know, that general digital marketing report. I might actually be more interested in an SEO report on 5 things to consider, say, in SEO, right? So make sure that you're giving away unique resources if you're going to implement content upgrades, okay? Identify your high traffic pages, okay? These are the ones where you're getting lots and lots of people sitting on it or arriving at it. Blog pages, okay? And guys, find content that converts. Okay, so this guy, Brian, he did exactly that. So he selected a blog post that he found that a lot of his users were already reading. And the blog post was called Google's 200 ranking factors, okay, the complete list is what was called. Okay, so before he implemented the changes, the page was converting for newsletter sign up with that content, the plugin, at about 0.5%, 0.5555%, okay? It's not great, but for a blog post, it's not the worst, right? After he converted it, he did a couple of little tweaks based on the data that he got. His conversion rate from that, getting signups, went to 4.82%, up from 0.54. Okay, so he put a new bonus giveaway in that was a free checklist, okay? It was put at the bottom of the post, and it was relevant to what the post was about rather than another general, you know, post report letter. And as a result, this is the study, right? 785% of an increase took place in his conversions compared to the previous month. Okay, so he's got 54 opt-in forms on his blog. Okay, it's a bit insane, but he does what he does and he does it well. Okay, there are 54 of these same types of things where you type in the email address, you type in your email address. Okay, the 2 new links that he had with the content upgrade now accounts that he introduced, okay, for the content upgrade, now accounts for 30% of all of his new subscribers across those 54 opt-in forms. It's insane. So this is where you use your information, you use that data, all of your analytics, and your growth hacking mind, the growth hacking approach, okay, looking at it laterally to make he made a tiny little change. He rejigged some content and he got huge results. Can you guys see how that works? Does that make a little more sense? There we go. Awesome, guys. Okay, so last one that we're going to have a look at this evening is Airbnb. Okay, so in 2007, they were designers, okay, Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia, I don't know how he spell it, how to say his name. They couldn't afford the rent in their San Francisco apartment, okay? To make ends meet, what they did is they decided to turn their loft into a lodging space. But Joe basically went on and he said, you know, we didn't want to put it on Craigslist, because in the States, I don't know if you guys know what Craigslist is, but they didn't want to publish the loft or the lodging space on Craigslist because they said it was too impersonal. So their little entrepreneurial instincts kicked in, and they said, you know, maybe we'll build our own site. So they did, right? So Craigslist had one thing that Airbnb didn't, right? They had a massive user base. So Airbnb knew through market research, they did market research, and they did their own experience, like they used their own experience. They figured that Craigslist was the place where people who wanted something other than the standard hotel experience, that's where people would go to look for listings. So in other words, that was Airbnb's target market, right? So Airbnb offered users who listed properties on Airbnb the opportunity to post them on to Craigslist as well, despite the fact that there was no kind of sanctioned way from Craigslist to do so. So it was a little bit cheeky, right? So because Craigslist saves, let me just bring these up. They save listing information, okay, using a unique URL instead of a cookie. This might be over people's heads, and I can explain it a bit better. But basically, Airbnb created a bot that went to Craigslist, and it picked up all of those URLs, okay, that people were listing on Craigslist, used all of the listing information and forwarded the URL to users for publishing, okay? I'll bring up there's a little screenshot here. Okay, so basically they integrated into Craigslist, okay? They shared on Craigslist and they built engineering capabilities that redirected people back to them. So here's just a little snapshot. A guy named Rishi Shah documented this, okay? So he was engaging with them. So this is just an email. So basically the bot also had to fill out a handful of forms, okay, which was pretty, like, it was a simple little thing that was automated, okay? So the reason this is amazing is because it's pure growth hacking, okay? They're breaking the rules. They threw the rule book out the window. You know, it's that kind of, if it doesn't exist, create it. Digital marketer meets engineer, you know, that whole vibe. It wasn't unethical. It was a little bit cheeky, but there was no lack of ethics here. They just made a bot that allowed them to create explosive growth. Margie says, is that legal? Everybody always asks me that. Yes. As far as I know, I think it was. It's okay, Anna. It's just a way that they implemented technology that allowed them to redirect people from Craigslist to their website or to plug something into Craigslist, okay? So just to bring up a couple of stats that they achieved, right? They went from, in 2008, up to 4 million guests, okay? They facilitated 4 million guests by 2013, and they've just grown year on year since then. Okay, you can see their funding grew as well, as did their listings. Okay, guys, so that was a great lesson. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We discussed growth hacking, who benefits, using growth hacking in your sales funnel and in your sales processes and within your strategy. And we looked at content upgrades. I love content upgrades. Hopefully, you guys feel the same. It would work very, very well with those pain and pleasure buttons. You guys remember those from the last module? Would work very, very well with those indeed. You could use those with your content upgrades. So see if you're going to implement that kind of idea. Drop us an email. Let us know how you're getting on or how you plan to implement it. As well as those really cool, successful case studies. Okay, just before we carry on, I know we have a little bit of time, and this tends to be a bit of a confusing topic, growth hacking. So what I've done is I have included some of the better questions that students have asked over the last few courses, and they may answer a couple of questions you might have as well. So here we go. Kevin says, I have some ideas, but no way to get market data and analysis. Kevin, what do you mean you have no access to market data and analysis? You can get all of that stuff online to a large extent without having to pay for it. You just have to do some sifting. Byron says the Airbnb funding growth was the causation to their list growth. Did I get that right? The funding came in, I suppose, as a result of that growth because they grew quite quickly, and it attracted investors. So it'd be nice to say that the causation. No, wait, I see what you're doing. Correlation and causation. I get that. They were causative. Mina says, can you recommend a free tool to use similar to Photoshop or GIMP? Mina, possibly the wrong webinar to be attending. Maybe graphic design would be better. But I would say, if you want something super, super simple, then have a look at Canva. It's loads of fun and it's very quick, and even I could use it, so it'd be really handy. I'm not sure about open source ones though. I don't know about anything other than GIMP. That's it. Anna says, I would find this hard to apply to the business I'm working with. It's very small. Anna, which business, what kind of business are you working with? Because that'd be quite interesting. Manira says, on average, how long does a person have to spend on this every day as a business? Manira, it's strategizing. So I think that this should be a constant, ongoing consideration in the back of your mind every single day. So it should kind of be, it should be the underlying reason for being, I suppose. I don't know, which sounds quite extreme, but you'd want the company to grow in such a way that your growth hacking is an integral part of the whole business strategy. Does that make sense? So I wouldn't allot a certain amount of time to it, but I would definitely keep it at the forefront of your mind. Andres is wondering how I would be able to put this approach into action with industrial software development. Andre, let's have a chat. I think you'd have to have a look at the business strategy in and of itself and how you disseminate your product to your contacts. But guys, I think the easiest way of starting off with a growth hacking element is with blogging, and it is with content upgrades. Lamek says, how can I set up a blog for myself? Have a look at WordPress, but you'd want to rather host a blog on a website as opposed to just having a blog. If you're going to talk about advertising and generating growth and that kind of thing. Sean says, do you have successful examples of real-world growth hacking? These do all seem to apply to only online services. Sean, I suppose with the content, again, that would apply. I'll have a look and I'll see what I can find. But generally, we're talking about digital marketing here. So they're going to be online answers to questions. They can be products that function in the real world, but we'll have a chat. Let me know, maybe again we can do a bit of a brainstorm together and have a look. Monique says, thanks so much. I need to rewatch to fully understand growth hacking. I know it seems it's quite an abstract concept. Okay, a lot of people are challenged by it, but it's not it's cool once you get your head around it and realize that it's a lot more simple than you think. Laura asked, when are we meant to start the assignments, or is it better to do them all at the end of the course so that we know everything on the test in detail? So, what I would suggest, Laura, and everybody else, if you're looking for the same answer, is to do an assignment every week. Okay, but they're really, really good so that you're kind of familiar with them. And towards when your final assignment is coming up, try to do those assignments again. Okay, see then what your results are, where you need to put a bit of attention, and you can go back and focus on those areas, and then do the tests again. It's kind of, that would be the easiest way of revising in my mind. So Emmanuel says some offers and calls to action show up when you try to mouse off the page. What are your opinions on those? Those are auto pop-ups. So in my personal capacity, I never used to be a fan of them, but I understand the practicality of them and I understand the need for them, but very rarely do I kind of fill them out myself. But that's just from a personal opinion. I think that they can be very, very handy in terms of your marketing strategy, providing that you allow people to click out of them, because it is a pop-up. Okay, and people really don't appreciate those all too much when they're forced to make a decision. Annika says, so Caitlin, growth hacking is not a specific thing, rather thinking and strategy implemented to get businesses to grow or grow business. Absolutely, that is exactly what I'm saying. That's kind of how I preface the lesson. So it is a manner of thinking, growth hacking. Guys, I would highly suggest going and having a bit more of a research. There is a book called Growth Hacking. The name eludes me at the moment of the person who wrote it, but it's really, go and do some more research. If this is something that you really want to tap into, we can have a chat. If you've got any ideas of how growth hacking might work, we can talk through that. Adam asks, great lesson, but I didn't get how Airbnb did it. So Airbnb started off, these two guys couldn't afford where they were living, okay? And they were like, okay, well, maybe let's rent somewhere out. And or rent some of our living space out. And the way that it was done back then, before Airbnb, I say back then like it was a long time ago, it wasn't very long, or I'm getting old. And, what they did is they went to rent out the space on Craigslist, and they were like, but I'm sure that we can do this more effectively, right? So what they did is they built a platform that integrated with Craigslist, okay? And what it did is when they were advertising a space, or when someone advertised a space, it was the space was they basically built up an algorithm from acknowledging their own needs, okay? So their own needs were that they wanted to get their rental out to the most people possible, in a kind of free way. So what they did is they built this little algorithm, because they were super, super smart, and it allowed them to collect the URLs of each place that was either of everyone that visited that post, or it was of the people who posted places that they wanted to stay. And what the original Airbnb did is that it combined all of those results into one space, okay, so that people could access it. I hope that makes sense. And then it just kind of grew exponentially, you know. So Barbara asks, how does content marketing relate to growth hacking? Content marketing is just a method of implementing growth hacking, okay? So when you offer someone something of value, they are far more likely to take up or give you their information. So it is a method of hacking a little bit. It's something that wasn't done before. It's kind of, I suppose we had free samples, but if you got a free sample, you wouldn't necessarily go and buy the product, right? So, but for this, it's like gated content, or those content upgrades, okay? So content is a very, very good tool for converting people. Lucas, did Airbnb know they were being growth hacked? Oh, that they were growth hacking when they registered? or re-strategized? Wow, I can't read tonight. Or is that something that they simply stumbled on by rethinking their approach? Do you know what, Lucas? I'm not entirely sure of that. I'm sure that they realized that they had something incredibly valuable to them when they kind of created this, but I'm sure that they didn't realize that it would grow into what it grew into. Um, it's kind of like, I know it sounds like it's trial and error, and it is just a method of approach, okay, with growth hacking. It's just thinking outside the box, not using traditional methods. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't know what they were using. Awesome. So a couple of you guys have shared links with me this evening. What I'll do is I'm going to put them into your summary notes, okay, so everybody can use them. Richard, above the fold and below the fold. So above the fold is the very first page that you see on a website. Let me bring this up for you. So let's say on Irish Times, okay. So above the fold is kind of the opening page. So everything you can see on this page is above the fold. So think of it like your fold in your newspaper. Okay, so say you scroll down beyond the fold. So here, this is below the fold. Okay, so this is all stuff that doesn't appear in the top portion of the website page. Does that make sense? So for Dropbox, here, let's have a look at their page quickly. So we go into Dropbox.com, and usually they would, now this page there's their video, okay? So how it works, this is above the fold, that's the video that they were talking about, okay? And then as you scroll down, it's got try free, but that essentially was the video. It looked a little bit different. It was much smaller, but it was it was on the top of that page, okay? So guys, we are here to help you, so contact us anytime if you have any questions whatsoever. There's myself and the team. We are here to help you out if anything hasn't come across clearly. So in your next lesson, we are going to be talking about generating leads through growth hacking. Okay, it's your growth hacking practical lesson. We're going to look at the first growth hackers and how it came into being and how it came to existence. Using Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram in combination with growth hacking. I'm going to show you a couple of examples of that and some tools that you can use that can help you along your way. So guys, as I said, if you need to get in touch with us, here are our contact details. Now they're here too. I just want to say thanks very much for the amazing lesson. If you do need to contact the team, email us at caitlin.hogg@showaacademy.com. That's a direct line. And you can get in touch with any of our team in terms of technical issues through support@showaacademy.com. But do email us content questions at my email address. All right, guys, so take care of yourselves. Another fabulous lesson, and I will see you next week.